Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a super cool video for you guys. I did a full face of a $1 makeup. That's right, everything on my face was only $1. I purchased everything from shopmissay.com. I do have a haul video that I just recently did, so if you guys haven't watched it, I will link it down below for you guys. This is basically the completed look, how everything turned out. So if you guys want to see all of the $1 products from Shop Miss A that I use, then just go ahead and keep on watching. First I'm going to go in with primer. I have this AOA Studio Wonder Skin Perfecting Blur Primer. So it's already squeezing out all by itself, like I'm not doing anything. It's clear with gold glitter in it. It's a lot thinner than I thought. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more, just because I feel like it dried down pretty quickly. Like it's so thin and like it almost feels like water. I don't know. So this primer sets down very quickly. It doesn't feel very moisturizing, but it is a little bit dewy. Like I have glowy skin now, and you definitely can see the gold glitter on my face, but I don't think it's crazy bad. So I have two different foundations. The first one is the Santee Flawless Perfect Finish Foundation, and the other one is the Santee Complete Cover Natural Finish Foundation. Let's see. I don't know. Oh, wow, that's thick. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that. So here are the three foundations. I just blended them out with my finger. If I mix the liquid drops and then the complete cover in the shade 3, which would be the top one and the bottom one, I might be able to make that shade work. Because I feel like this one in 04, which is the center, is a little too orange for me. I do have the Wonder Blender, you guys, and it's already wet, so it's super big and fluffy. So this sponge is part of their Paw Paw charity that they do, and proceeds go to animal charities, which is super cool. They have a couple different AOA Studio products that are dedicated to that charity, which is super cool. I'm just going to put some of this on my face, honestly. It's not liquidy like I thought it would be, like a normal drop foundation. I feel like it's super orange, but we're gonna add the other foundation as well, which is more pink, and hopefully I can get something to work for me. So here we go. I'm so excited to try the sponge because it's so soft and I've heard so many great things. Oh nice. So as it's blending out, it's not as orange. Both foundations are blending out really nicely. And this sponge, you guys, it's so freaking soft. I'm freaking loving it. I actually like the finish of the two foundations mixed because it's kind of dewy, but it's not like looking like I'm greasy or anything like that. And I thought the foundations were gonna feel gross and like cakey, to be honest, because I mean they're just $1. But oh my gosh, they feel so lightweight. Like they feel nice. The shade is not obviously my shade, but I feel like I did a pretty good job blending it down my neck. So far, I like it. I like the foundations mixed together. I feel like the foundation is a nice light to medium coverage. I'm not going to build it up just because I really like the way it's looking right now. It's not emphasizing my texture. It looks really good. So next, let's move on to concealers. I have the Wonder Cover HD Concealer by AOA Studio. I have the shades Porcelain and the shade Highlighter, which is basically a white one. I'm going to go in with Porcelain first just because I want to see how the shade is, and if I want to brighten it up, I'll go in with the other one. Oh, this concealer has a smell. It's just a doe foot applicator. It's a pretty thick consistency, so I think I'm going to do one side first. It does seem like it's got pretty decent coverage, and I do like the shade. So let's go back in with the Wonder Blender sponge. That is super brightening. I like that. Let's do the other side. So you can only really smell the concealer if you have it like that, like all near your nose. Once you blend it out though, you can't smell anything. Now the concealer is all blended out, you guys. Super brightening. It blended out pretty easily. It feels pretty good on the skin. It is definitely a little bit on the thicker side, and the doe foot applicator is a little bit small. So now what I want to do is go in with this Sculpt Effects contour stick by AOA Studio and do a little bit of cream contouring before I go in with my powders. Oh, cool, it's a twist up. So you do get a tiny little bit of product, but for $1, you know, you can't really complain. Hopefully it's creamy and easy to blend. I did get the shade Latte. Ooh, alright. Wow, this is going to be nice for contouring. I thought it was going to be too warm. When you apply it, it's a little cool tone. I'm liking it. It's applying super easy. Now let's hope it blends out just as easily. I'm just going to add a little bit more. I just wet my sponge before I went in, and it's kind of removing the foundation and concealer a little bit. So I don't like that. I'm going to add the tiniest amount of foundation to try and fix it really quick. So I don't know if it's the actual cream contour stick or if it's the sponge, but I feel like my foundation and concealer is getting removed. So I'm going to take some more product and I'm going to go in with this stippling brush and blend this out, just because I don't like the way it turned out. That this cream contour stick, the formula is just a little bit weird because the foundations blended out nicely, the concealer went on nicely, and they didn't like start coming off. And you guys saw I applied it 3 times, so some of the foundation like lifted. I love the shade of it when I first apply it, but when I blend it out I didn't really love it. So let's just keep moving. I'm gonna go in with the AOA Studio Perfect setting powder. I'm just going to apply some to the lid. Well, I applied a ton. And I got the shade Soft Light. They do have a translucent shade. I just accidentally picked this one instead of that one. I'm just going to go in with the same sponge. Of course my camera died as I was setting the concealer. But literally all I did was take the sponge and set everywhere I applied concealer, and I also did it underneath my contour. My skin feels a little bit heavy now. I feel like my face looks super cakey and I'm looking pretty matte, but it's not too bad. I have a feeling that the concealer and the powder just don't work very well together. And then the contour on this side looks a little patchy and funky. So I'm going to see if I can fix it. I mean, for $1, most of these products so far are working pretty well, but I'm going to just keep going. I'm going to go in with this LOL bronzer now. It's called their bronzing powder, and I have the shade Brown Sugar. I'm just going to take a clean stippling brush. It's a little bit powdery. Looking a little intense right now, so sorry, but I'm gonna go back in and blend everything in a minute. I'm just going to take a powder brush with no product to try and blend. So I'm like super bright under my eyes and then like super orangey tan everywhere else pretty much. So this is what my face is looking like right now. Let's move on to blush. I'm going to go in with the LOL blush in the shade Coral Blush, and this one has 2. I'm just going to take a Real Techniques brush, and I'm going to dip into both. Wow. Very powdery. Well, the shimmery one, that's this one right here, is way more powdery than the one down here. But I did mix both of them. Oh, it's so pigmented. Like I'm barely applying the product and it's already super pigmented. I'm gonna go back in with that powder brush. So what I'm actually going to do right now is spray my face with some setting sprays. I'm gonna mix the Milani Make It Dewy and the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set, just because I don't remember seeing a $1 setting spray on the Shop Missy website. If there is one, maybe I'll pick it up next time, but I didn't see one. So I'm just going to quickly apply these two. Now I'm going to take these Wonder Blender and melt everything together. Okay, now my skin is looking a lot better, a lot more healthy and dewy, which I love. My under eyes are a tiny bit dry looking, this side a little bit more so than this side, but everything else is looking pretty good. For brows, I have this AOA Studio Sculpting Brow Pencil in the shade Medium Brown, so it does have a spoolie. I always like to bend my spoolies just a little bit. So the actual brow product is just a little teardrop. I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys in just a little bit. Both brows. The shade dark brown is definitely a lot warmer than I thought it was going to be. I find this to be more of a traditional, just warm brown shade. The formula was okay. It was definitely creamy, not waxy whatsoever, but I found that I definitely had to go over the same spot a couple times to get the pigment. It's definitely still pigmented. I mean, as you guys can see, my brows are on. They look good. They don't feel gross or anything. I don't have any brow gel on. I'm just going to leave them like this. For $1 brow pencil, you guys, I feel like you can't beat it. I'm going to keep you guys zoomed in still so we can do the eyes. And then I'll zoom you back out. I'm going to be using these AOA Studio brushes. There are 10 in here. And these are actually a part of that Paw Paw charity. And the eyeshadow palette that I'm going to be using is this Boxy eyeshadow palette. And it just has 9 single eyeshadows inside. So I'm going to go ahead and set my eyelid with the Perfect Setting Powder. And I'm going to take the E126 brush and I'm just going to apply that powder everywhere. Since I did bring up the concealer earlier and I didn't set my eyelids, that's why I'm doing that now. So I'm going to go in with the shade Adorbs and I am applying it with the E126 brush. I'm just putting it in my crease. Most of the color I want to be on the outer part of the crease. I'm going to take the shade Exotic with the 127 brush. I'm mainly focusing this color on the inner 2/3 of my eye. I'm going to take the shade Crown and apply it all over the lid with the E129 brush. I don't like the way that looks. I think what I'm going to do is wet my brush just because it's not really applying very well with this type of brush. Now I'm going to take the shade Terracotta with an E30 brush and I'm just going to go above my crease a little bit to define it a little bit more. So I'm adding the shade Rich on the outer corner, which is a dark brown, with that same E30 brush. Now I'm going to take the shade Exotic on a E132 and run it on the lower lash line. Now I'm just going to mix Adorbs and Terracotta with the same brush. I'm going to take the 127 brush with no additional product and just blend underneath and bring it out. I'm going to take the shade Scarlet and use the E131 brush and just add that color underneath the brow bone. This is probably my least favorite brush from the set. It's not really picking up the product that well. I'm just going to take my finger and then apply it with my finger on the inner corner. And I'm going to apply some with my finger on the center of the eyelid. So now I'm going to go in with the eyelashes. These are AOA Studio Lashes in Isabella. I'm so obsessed with the way these look. I hope that they look really good on the eye. Just because they're so like fluffy and three-dimensional and layered. I've never worn an eyelash like this, so I hope that it looks good on the actual eye. So all I did was add eyeliner to my tight line and waterline and add a mascara as well to the top and lower lashes. This eyelash is just so pretty. I feel like it makes my eyes look bigger and just really nice. They're so fluffy and it's crazy how three-dimensional they are. Like, they're so pretty. I'm going to apply the other eyelash off camera and I'll be right back. Now that both eyelashes are on, I'm going to go ahead and go in with the AOA Studio Wonder Baked Highlighter in Cream Puff. It's a very pretty highlighter. I thought it was going to be a little more champagne than like pearly white. So I'm going to take the eyeshadow that I used in my brow bone highlight and my inner corner, which is the shade Scarlet, and I'm going to just add that on top. Okay, I think that looks a little bit better. So now let's move on to the lips. I'm going to go in with the Santee Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade 05, and on top I'm going to use the Diamond Lip Gloss by AOA Studio in the shade Glitz. So this is the completed look, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. I actually ended up using this brow pencil as a lip liner. I just felt like my lips needed a little more dimension. I actually ended up really loving a lot of the products and then just generally liking everything else. Everything seemed to work pretty good with the exception of a few things. I'm actually really happy how this look turned out. So now I'm just going to do a quick rundown on all of the products. So the Wonder Skin Perfecting Blur Primer, I actually really like it, but I don't absolutely love it. I feel like somebody who has normal to oily skin will actually enjoy this a lot more than somebody who has dry skin. It does dry down very quickly, and it doesn't feel as moisturizing as I normally would like, but it's still really good. Then I have the foundations. They're both from Santee. This is the Flawless Perfect Finish Foundation, and then the Complete Cover Natural Finish Foundation. I liked the way these worked together. Now, obviously, I didn't test each individual formula, but I do like them combined together. I liked the dewy finish that it left. They just sat on my skin really nicely. I feel like the primer and the two foundations worked very nicely together. The Wonder Cover HD Concealer, on the other hand, it blended out really nicely, but it's not my favorite. It's a little too thick for my dry skin. The shade Porcelain is very brightening on me, and you do get a lot of products for $1. I can definitely see myself using this concealer more during Halloween time when I create some creative looks. This is not going to be one that I reach for on a daily basis, but I am going to play with it just a few more times and see. If not, I'm just going to put it in my Halloween drawer. The AOA Studios Perfect Setting Powder. This one was actually pretty nice. It's nice and brightening, and it's pretty finely milled. I can totally see myself using this. The Sculpt Effects Contour Stick. I love the shade, you guys, but this is a product that I definitely have to play around with it more because I'm not sure if this is what was removing my foundation and concealer or if it was actually the damp sponge. I like the shade, and I like that it applies to the skin very easily and creamy, and for the most part it blended out pretty good. So this is like an iffy product for me, but I do like it. The LOL bronzing powder is very, very warm. Since I'm pretty fair right now, it just looks super, super orange on me. But I did like the formula. It was a little bit powdery, but for $1, I mean, I can't really complain about that because it applies so pigmented. Like, you just need to go in there just a little bit. So this was really good, as well as the LOL blush. So these were really pigmented as well. And what I like about this little duo is that you get a matte blush and you get a shimmery blush. So you don't have to mix them if you just prefer one or the other. And so this was another really good product. The highlighter was okay for me, you guys. It's really pretty. I think if you're into more natural, glowy type of highlighters, you're gonna really like this. I felt like I had to really build it up, and I don't know if because it's a baked product I have to just like go through the first layer. I actually feel like somebody who is very fair will love the crap out of this because I feel like it's gonna complement your skin tone if you're super, super fair. It's like the most beautiful, natural, glowy, like pearly white type of shade. The eyeshadows. So I used 6 out of the 9 shades that are in here. And I gotta say, the matte shades blended out so nicely. Some of them were a little bit on the powdery side, but that's not a big deal to me. The pigment was there, the color was there. They blended out really, really nicely. This one was $10, but if you think about it, each eyeshadow and the palette ends up being $1 each. So I feel like you can't really beat that for a cute little palette when it's really good quality. I used 6 out of the 10 brushes, and this was $10 as well, you guys. And these are all super soft. They applied the color really nicely. So I'm really loving these brushes, and the case is adorable. It's going to be great for traveling. The brow pencil, I like how it looked on my eyebrow. It goes really nicely with my hair color and with my skin tone. For $1, I feel like this is a very, very good eyebrow pencil. The diamond lip gloss, this one was in the shade Glitz that I used. I thought it was really pretty. I just swatched it all over my hand so you guys can see it a little bit more. But it does have like really pretty shimmer in it, and it's definitely glossy. It's not the glossiest gloss I've ever tried, but for $1 I can't really complain. I love the color of this. It's just gonna be the most beautiful lipstick topper, and it's not sticky, so I really love that. That's a major thumbs up for me because I hate sticky glosses. Let's talk about the eyelashes, you guys. I am living for these eyelashes. They're super lightweight, they're super dramatic, but they're fluffy and wispy. These were in the style Isabella. I just feel like my eyes look really big, and they're just really pretty fluffy lashes. I feel like it will complete any look. And you can definitely wear them like on a regular basis because they're so lightweight. These are very impressive for a freaking $1. I like these way more than my high-end eyelashes, to be 100% honest with you guys. Like, these are really good. And I feel like I need to stock up on some more because they're just $1. Like, everything is a freaking $1. Last product I'm going to talk about is the Wonder Blender, you guys. It is so soft and bouncy. I was super pleasantly surprised, you guys. I thought it was going to be stiff and just absorb the foundation and like the concealer and just all the products that I used. I like how it's flat down here. It's not 100% round, and then I like how it obviously has the little teardrop at the top. I heard quite a few people talk about this sponge, and even though everybody was saying it was good, I was still hesitant because, I mean, I don't know. There's just that stigma of like $1 makeup. How is it even possible for stuff like that to be good? And this is such a good quality sponge, you guys. Highly, highly recommend you pick this one up. That's pretty much everything. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial slash first impression. Alright guys, so that is it. I'm gonna stop rambling. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!